Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going over how you can make a good amount of gold and level your Clades XP while exploring the open world and the points of interest that Mortal Online 2 has to offer. The in-game world is really big and there are many bandit camps and other points of interest or POIs that you can discover just by roaming around outside, and you can make a ton of gold visiting them. A lot of these places are really cool and offer you the opportunities to explore the world and get outside of your comfort zone and earn pretty decent Clades XP while you're at it. If you're lucky, you could even find items worth hundreds of gold each. You can do this from whatever town you're in, as there are bandit camps and POIs all around the map, but we'll be going from Meduli in this video. To get started, just head out with a horse and some bags for it, as well as some basic gear, and look for any bandit camps or interesting landmarks that you might see. Don't worry too much about where you're going, as long as you feel comfortable enough to trace your steps back to town. You could follow the path you see me taking here if you're in Meduli, or use the interactive map at mortalonlinemap.info to take a look at where some of the bandit camps are. You could also simply head out and freely explore if you prefer, and that can be a lot of fun to do as well. Keep going wherever you decide, and keep an eye out for any signs of bandit camps, ruins, or other possible points of interest, like villages or non-player owned buildings of any kind. If you don't know what something is, head up to it to fully check it out. It might look empty or abandoned at first, but there could be enemy NPCs waiting for you to head inside, so keep that in mind and approach every new area carefully. As you find new bandit camps or POIs, kill all the enemy NPCs that you see and look for any boxes, crates, urns and barrels you can open. There are many different things that you could loot from all of these, as well as the NPCs themselves, and you'll often find items worth a few gold each, or even a lot more. As a rule of thumb, it's best to keep your horse's stamina bar at around 80% or more to be safe, as you're now far from the city and any players you run into could easily decide to attack. Having a lot of stamina reserved on your horse will give you a way better chance of being able to get away or chase someone down if you need to, but the amount of risk that you want to take is up to you. You might want to go into your settings and toggle the Enable Criminal Actions on in the Gameplay tab. This will allow you to attack any players you see, and while you might not want to be a criminal, if someone does try to attack you but misses for any reason and you know that they're definitely trying to kill you, you can try to hit them right away if needed without having to wait for them to land a successful hit first. This could save your life, but it also has the consequence of allowing you to accidentally hit your horse or pet as well as another player by accident, which would cause you, yourself, to turn into a criminal temporarily, so be aware of that. If you're unsure about what might be worth a lot, be careful to check the prices of things at the trade broker in town once you get back before you sell them to a vendor. If you find anything that looks like it could be expensive, like gems, scrolls, or anything else that you don't recognize, it's better to check out the going rate on the broker before vendoring it, as you can sometimes loot really valuable items that you wouldn't have even expected. One of the best things about leveling your Clades and earning gold this way is that you'll find other players doing the same thing at times, and this can give you the opportunity to interact with others who might be playing solo. Some areas are pretty hard to clear out or have multiple NPCs near each other that are hard to kill, and so bringing a friend along can really help. But when you're doing this solo, you could also run into other players doing the same thing and decide to work together with them. You might make a new friend, and this type of emergent gameplay is one of the aspects of the game that makes it so good. On the other hand, you might also be attacked by any other player that you see, so you need to keep that in mind as well. You might be happy to see another player at a POI you visit, but they might prefer to go it alone and not have someone come in and essentially steal their loot and Clades XP, depending on how they look at it. They'll have their own preference and opinion just as you'll have yours, and so anything could happen. But that makes it a lot more interesting and provides you with many more opportunities to engage with players one way or another. Friends can be made out here as well as enemies, and you can decide to work together to clear out harder camps and become friends with players that you meet, or fight to the death and try to loot anyone you see. You could also just avoid each other, which is what happens quite a lot if neither of you want to fight or are both too scared to approach. If you really mostly care about PvP and just want to find players to kill who might have been looting all these bandit camps or POIs, visiting them one by one is probably a great way to do that too. I don't encourage people to go around killing anyone that they see, but if that's what you want to do, you definitely can, and you'll usually find players visiting these types of POIs one at a time. Killing one player who's looted 3 or 4 different areas could be very profitable if you manage to take all their loot and get away with it. And that fact is good to keep in mind for both those who want to PvP and those who don't. I don't take part in PvP as much as I used to these days, but if I was gonna be a bandit or go around killing random players for their loot like I used to, visiting all these POIs and bandit camps around the map would be a pretty fun idea. As you clear out a POI or bandit camp, just explore further and move on to the next one you see until you're happy enough with what you have or with how far you've come and want to start heading back. You can now hit up each POI you visited again on the way back if you'd like, or just head right back to town directly. Either way, you'll now have a decent amount of basic loot like gold and bandit heads, and if you're lucky, some other valuable items you can vendor or sell to players on the broker too. If you're really lucky, you may have even looted something worth over 100 gold. But if not, just keep exploring and heading out to find new places and you will eventually get some really nice drops. Repeat this method as many times as you'd like while heading in new directions, and you'll continue to stack up some gold and level your clades while learning the area around your town a lot more. Gold and Clades XP are easy enough to get in the game through many different ways, but solid knowledge of the map isn't, and so this method will help you travel and explore, giving you something that you can't buy with gold. That's all for this video guys, but I hope it helps some of you out there or inspires you to get out of town and explore a bit more. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more content, and let me know if you have any questions as always, and I'll see you in the next one.
Eat.